Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to film this video. I thought in tonight's video I would do something a little different, something I want to try. And if you don't like it, let me know and I will do it again. But I wanted to do an album review. I am someone, as you guys probably have known from, the videos I've been making so far, I love music, I love talking about music, I love hearing other people's opinions on music. I just really love it and find it comforting and fascinating, and I always try and find ASMR videos associated with that. So I want to try and create the content, that I like to watch. So in tonight's video, I thought it'd only be fitting to discuss one of the most popular albums that have recently dropped. An artist I am obviously a huge fan of, Miss Taylor Swift. And I am going to be discussing her newest LP, The Life of a Showgirl. I actually wrote out some notes. Well, typed them and printed it, just to organize my thoughts. And I'm going to go through my track ranking. I've had a little time with the album now. It's been, what, 6 days? 5, 6 days? So I've had some time. Obviously, music grows over time and it never stays in one solid spot. In regard to your opinion and how you like it and maybe what tracks you're feeling. So this is definitely subject to change. But this is how I feel currently as of right now. And I thought if you guys like this video, I would love to do I was thinking maybe of doing ranking all of Taylor Swift's albums in my personal order and in my humble opinion. Let me know if you guys want to see that. And also, other artists, I can talk about their albums. Definitely does not have to be just Taylor Swift. I listen to many different artists. So, just let me know your thoughts. But I'm going to go through the album, give a little background, go through track by track, ranking them, the 12 songs, and then at the end I'm going to give my final score out of 10 on what I think of the album. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, if you don't know, The Life of a Showgirl is Taylor Swift's 12th studio album. It was released on Friday, October 3rd, 2025. And it features 12 tracks, co-written and co-produced by her 1989 collaborators, Max Martin, Shell Back, along with a featured guest on the final track of the album, Sabrina Carpenter, and it's also the title track, The Life of a Showgirl. So, when I first listened to the album, I found it to be kind of more of a soft rock record. Definitely poppy, but had some soft rock elements. And, just to give some statistics, it already broke records. It sold 2.7 million copies on its first day, which is insane. That's so crazy to think about. And it recently crossed 3.5 million album equivalent units on its 5th day, I think today, becoming the most sold album, most sold album in modern history, I believe, surpassing Adele's 25, which was released, I want to say in 2015. I could be wrong though. So that's a little background on this album. Taylor Swift's been in the game for a while now. She's had many album rollouts, so each one is so unique in its own way, in its own era, as she so valiantly coined. And, we're entering a new era, the life of a showgirl. So as a Taylor Swift fan, it's exciting. And, if you're not a fan, that's okay too. But maybe you can just get some relaxation from hearing me ramble. And it might be nonsense to you, and you can just fall off to sleep, or just relax and focus on what you're doing. But I think what I'm going to do is start by my least favorite track to my favorite top. And off the bat, I know there have been some mixed reviews on this album. So I'm going to get to my thoughts on the album as a whole at the end, but let's just start with the track list ranking. So, in my opinion, as of right now, these are all obviously as of right now, my least favorite track is Wishlist. It is track. I'm not even going to try and remember the order. I don't know. I want to say 10, 9, 9 or 10 maybe? I don't know. And basically the track discusses kind of this a showgirl from a showgirl perspective yearning for like the simpler life. Kind of not shrugging off, but putting career accolades to the side kind of in favor of that suburbia inspired normalcy. It has kind of a chiming arrangement and has some pedal steel guitar elements as well. And for me personally, the reason why this is my least favorite track is just because I find sometimes in songs dropping like brand names and stuff like that, I don't really enjoy. And I'm not saying it's like braggy or I don't know. It's just not my favorite. I kind of, and I fully understand like not every song is going to be by any artist is going to be like lyrically and melodically like reinventing the wheel, amazing, pulling at every heartstring, like rewiring your brain. But it's just a track that's kind of more for fun, which is perfect for a mood if you're in the right mood, or for some people who want that and who are that's the kind of music they like to listen to. But for me, I would say it's the track I would revisit least. So yeah, my number 11 track is Eldest Daughter, which is it's her track 5. No, it's not. Is it? Let me stop saying that. I don't think it is. Or it might be. I don't know. Eldest Daughter is quite vulnerable. And it really focuses on the idea of kind of one's public persona compared against one's public persona online. We all have public personas online, being a YouTube channel, whether it be social media, versus your persona that people in your life day to day personally know you for, and kind of how they combat each other and the softness and open heart dichotomy that goes with that. And it definitely feels like a throwback stylistically. It kind of has, it gives reminiscence of a older Taylor Swift bridge, but it definitely has some like soft, loud contrasts that I feel like her more recent works have had. So it is a more vulnerable track, but it's just not something that really connected with me on the initial listen. The idea of, I know she says some lines about, like mentioning memes and just having, hate on the internet, and I don't know, it's just not something I'm typically hearing Taylor Swift talk about lyrically in her music. So maybe it's just something I just need to get used to, but it just really didn't resonate with me on a personal level. So I just feel like it kind of fell flat, in my opinion, for me, based on the listens that I've given it. Number 10 is Wood. Wood is definitely a playful track. It has some sexual innuendos. It references redwood trees, magic wands, a hard rock, and definitely has some like muted disco funk production, which I do like that production. I thought that was interesting. But it definitely has like tongue-in-cheek one-liners for sure. Um, kind of not reminiscent, mirroring slightly Sabrina Carpenter's musical style, just in my opinion, not done as well as Sabrina Carpenter does it. It's definitely, talking about Travis Kelce. Um, and I don't know. It's fine. Like it's not, you know, obviously it's not Taylor Swift's best song. I do like the like disco production kind of vibe. Um, but the actual lyrics itself, they're okay. I mean, it's like a little cheesy, a little, those innuendos that I feel like if Sabrina Carpenter didn't do it so well and so perfectly, and her more recent records, I might feel differently about it. But it's like if I want that kind of lyricism, I feel like I would listen to Sabrina Carpenter. This isn't to say that Taylor didn't do it well. I just think Sabrina does it better. So it's like, it's like someone trying to make an all too well 10-minute version. It's like Taylor Swift, like that kind of lyricism. It's Swiftian. Just like these kind of innuendos, I feel like are Sabrina. Like that's just, I don't know. It's just how I feel. The production's really cool though. Number 9, I have Actually Romantic. This track I feel is quite polarizing because it's very evidently a dismissive takedown, kind of built on like a grade A power pop beat, with kind of like a certain cadence that has a little bit of a like, similar to, I don't know if anyone knows Weezer's Beverly Hills song, similar to that, in my opinion. So I really like the beat of this. I like the tempo. I like the like melodies. Here's where I struggle with this track is it's evidently about Charlie XCX, right? And I just feel like I don't like when women go after each other. It like saddens me. And I understand that, you know, there's beef with things and like I get that. I totally get that. But I feel like this is kind of a clapback to Sympathy is a Knife, and I don't feel like Sympathy is a Knife was a dig at Taylor. I feel like, Charlie was being honest in that track. And I didn't really hear any digs per se. Granted, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So, excuse me, I'm yawning. So, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not friends with these people. I don't know what's going on. But, I don't know. I'm a Cancer, my zodiac, FYI. So, like, I'm like, oh, can we all just be nice to each other? But if I forget that and take the track, like, take that context out of the track, it's a fun one. It's a fun one to listen to, I guess. Number 8 is Cancelled. This feels very Reputation, and I love Reputation. It very much embraces the celebrity of like too problematic dark comedy about sardonic views, of like the modern celebrity culture. And it definitely has some lyrical jabs. I do think at this current climate that we're in, it can be a little problematic, the lyrical content. But I have a theory about the song. Listening to it, the title, the structure, the beats, the just overall like production, I think this was like a Reputation ball track. And I'm not gonna lie, no one can convince me otherwise. I wholeheartedly feel like this was supposed to be on Reputation, and she put it in this album. You can have different opinions, totally fine. Which I should have said at the beginning. Everyone's like open to their own opinion, obviously, and definitely leave your thoughts down below if you have them about this album. I so want to read them and talk about it in a positive, peaceful, friendly, respectful way. But yeah, I feel like this is reputation coded so much, and I kind of like it. It definitely grew on me. Initial listen, I was apprehensive, but this has definitely grown on me. And I could see it growing on me more because when I think of it in the reputation context, I'm like, I get it. I don't know if it fits on this album. That's my only thing. I don't know if it fits in this vibe. Like, I listen to it now and I'm like, I think Reputation. I don't think The Life of a Showgirl. Is that just me? I don't know. Maybe. Number 7. Might be a hot take. Honey. I actually loved the song. This song gave me such lover vibes. And I know I shouldn't be comparing the songs to other eras. Like, this is in its own era. But I can't help it. It just did. It reminded me of, like, a classic lover song. And just fun, poppy, trap drums, snappy, like, you know, quick treatment of production. And linguistically, like, calling out the different pet names and kind of repurposing them in, like, a way that maybe before you were called that in a derogatory, like, negative connotation, but now, you know, your partner has made it completely a new meaning. And the power that not so much the word has, but the person using the word has, is so cute, I think. So I really like this track. I feel like it's definitely a Cancer Zodiac track, in my opinion. Number 6 is Ruin the Friendship. This track really, I think, is one of the highlights of Taylor Swift's lyrical specificity. Oh my gosh, I can't say it. Specificity. I literally can't say it. How specific she gets in her lyrics. You know, there's such concrete detail, you know, of flirtation, then that surprising second half turn, you know, that moves you from, like, a meet cute idea to, like, such a, like, sorrowful send-off. You know, there's beautiful production. She has great, like, kind of fluttering background vocals. And then it has a really, like, a stirring outro. And I really like this one. It's sad, but it's meaningful, and it gives you a little insight into Taylor Swift and, you know, some of her past experiences. And excuse me, sorry again for yawning. I think it can really probably resonate with a lot of people in different ways, and I think it's a beautiful track. Number 5 is Father Figure. This track is so cool because it kind of embodies the perspective of a kind of mob boss hierarchy and, like, a protege. And it has definitely intense, sneering lyrics. You know, it has a, like, chest thumping element to it. And again, Taylor turns that perspective in the second half, turning it on its side, really clicking this whole story together. And it's very tongue-in-cheek as well. Because if you know anything about her, you know, professional history with her masters and old management, you can definitely hear those elements come through in this track, in terms of the lyricism. And it's a fun one, and I can imagine that it was probably very fun to make and very fun to write, for her. Number 4 for me is The Life of a Showgirl featuring Sabrina Carpenter. I just love the song. I think it's so entertaining. I think the message and the fictionalized character of Kitty, discussing, you know, this showgirl and how Taylor went to her show when she was little, and how the showgirl was honest with her and said, you know, the showbiz is not all it's cracked up to be. And then moving down, Taylor's in this life, you know, and then we see Sabrina come up through it, and it's just really beautiful. And, you know, their tones definitely complement each other. And, you know, they really discuss, like, kind of the pain hidden between the lipstick and lace, as they say in the track. And I think it's a really nice send off of the album. I could definitely see why it's the final track. Now we're getting into my top three. Number three is Elizabeth Taylor, which is kind of a meditation on the impertinence of romance and fame. It has piercing chorus harmonies, and it definitely has a heightened drama to it. It has elegant piano and, strings and kind of a mischievous element, and it has an operatic feel to it, I think. And I don't know, I just really like blasting this one in the car. I think it's fun. I think it's very Taylor Swiftian in terms of the production. And I think it's a cool concept. Because, Elizabeth Taylor, I feel like, is a quintessential showgirl in and of her legacy. So, I think it's definitely worthy of it being a track on this album. Number two for me is Opalite. This one is a fun, lighthearted, shimmying pop rock, catchy vibes, catchy hooks. Opalite is a man-made gemstone, and talking kind of about how you can make your own joy. Joy can be excavated from, things, experiences, but, if you try hard enough, if you look at things from a different perspective, you could create your own joy. And I think it's a very powerful and important message, especially in this day and age. So that's what that song makes me think about when I listen to it, and that's why I think it's so high up on my list. And then if you know the album, you can probably do, through deductive reasoning, my favorite track on The Life of a Showgirl is the first track, The Fate of Ophelia. This reaches back to Shakespeare. It has 70s coded production. It flips resignation into romance. It has pensive piano, elements and those chewy keys and siren cry harmonies and I really think this is like a masterclass in pop construction for a song. The music video was iconic. The song is iconic. I love the modern mixed with the, old, timeless blend, and I love this track so much. It's the one I revisit the most, and I really, really love it. So those were my track list rankings. Now, the album as a whole, I'm not gonna lie, it's not my favorite Taylor Swift album. And after listening to it, I feel like out of 10, at this point right now, I would give it a solid 6.5. I think I need more time with it. I'm gonna leave space to have myself with more time with it and see how how it shakes out. The top 5 tracks that I listed, my top 5, I feel are strong for me. But then the rest of the album, I don't know if I really loved, and I really resonated at this point in my life personally as like songs of hers that I would go back and listen to. I think we're so fortunate that Taylor Swift has such a like glorious catalog that I definitely see myself going to visit other albums more. But this is still fairly new, so we'll wait and see. But that's kind of my little Life of a Showgirl review. I didn't want to make this video too long, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have your opinions, definitely leave them below. I want to hear them. I want to read them. We can talk about it. And let me know what you thought of this video. Let me know if you want to see more kind of videos like this, of me talking more, of album reviews or music reviews, and I'd be happy to do them. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video.